What is the history of First Communion rituals for Christian children? Have you ever wondered how the tradition of First Communion began for Christian children? This special rite has a rich history that connects deeply with the Christian faith. The roots of First Communion trace back to the Last Supper, where Jesus shared bread and wine with his disciples. He instructed them to continue this practice in remembrance of him. Early Christians celebrated this meal together, but by the 3rd century, it transformed into a more formal ritual. In the early days of Christianity, baptism, confirmation, and communion were often celebrated together, even for infants. However, as time went on, these sacraments became distinct. By the 4th century, infant baptism was common, but the practice of giving communion to infants varied widely. Eventually, communion was separated from baptism and confirmation. A major turning point occurred during the Fourth Lateran Council in the year 1215. This council declared that children should receive their First Communion after reaching the age of reason, typically around 7 years old. This age was chosen because children were believed to be capable of understanding right from wrong. This decision shaped First Communion into a significant rite of passage for children, marking their readiness to participate in this sacred sacrament. During the Middle Ages, the emphasis on the holiness of the Eucharist led to strict preparation for First Communion. In the 17th and 18th centuries, movements like Jansenism pushed for rigorous teaching and penitential practices before children could receive communion. This often delayed the sacrament until adolescence. However, the Church teaches that the Eucharist is spiritual nourishment and a remedy for daily faults, not just a reward for moral perfection. Today, many Christian traditions, especially within the Catholic Church, Lutheran Church, and Anglican Communion, celebrate First Communion between the ages of 7 and 13. This milestone is significant for children and their families, symbolizing a child's growing participation in the Church and their personal relationship with Christ. For parents guiding their children through this important step, it is helpful to teach biblical truths about the Eucharist. This sacred meal was instituted by Jesus to remember his sacrifice and to receive spiritual grace. Family devotionals, Bible stories about the Last Supper, and prayer can prepare children spiritually for their First Communion. Teaching children about sin, forgiveness, and God's love helps them appreciate the meaning of receiving Christ in the sacrament. Encouraging prayer and reflection at home supports their ongoing spiritual growth beyond the ceremony itself. The history of First Communion rituals for Christian children reflects a journey from early practices of initiation sacraments to a distinct rite that marks a child's readiness to receive the Eucharist. This milestone is a wonderful opportunity for families to nurture faith at home and celebrate a child's commitment to following Christ.